thought I'd start this video the other way around. So you've seen the picture. I'm going to show you now how I took it. Typically, most times I'm out photographing for the Skye at night book, we start a bit like this. A small little track, middle of nowhere, just after dark. And we've already scoped this place out. So we're going to a little township called Heast, which is down on the Slate Peninsula. And there's a very nice little thing to photograph, as you've seen. For this one, we've waited for the tide to be high. So it's just been high tide, and the tide to be lowering down. And for the Milky Way to be in the right place. And for the sky to be not cloudy. And also for there to be a moon. Now we've got a full moon, which is going to be a bit bright. So maybe the Milky Way is not going to show. However, it won't matter too much for this one. Oh, hello cows. How are we doing? And as if by magic, here we are. The sea is just down there, and that's where that skeletal hull of the boat is that you just seen. So we're going to get our wellies on and go down. When I get roughly where I need to be going, there's normally a walk-in. This one's not too bad, it's about half a mile or so. Random tracks normally, or paths. This one we've got a little river, goes off that way. That's the moon up there. So a short walk this time, and just over this way through a salt marsh. I've got the microphone on my hat, by the way, because it keeps getting knocked off every time I take my bag off my shoulder. Right, onwards. While we're on our way down to the sea, there's this really nice salt marsh here, which you can probably barely see. It's really nice. I'm a bit of a sucker for salt marsh, so we've taken a bonus picture of that as well for you. Here that is. So we got to roughly where we need to be. I wanted to be here when the tide was high and going out, because I want to have the little shipwreck surrounded by water. So we can't see it at the moment, it's somewhere out there. So we're going to wait a little while for the tide to go out a little bit longer, and hopefully the ribs will start being exposed. In the meantime, the moon is up behind me, and the Milky Way should be coming up over there. So quite a few options for this one, but right now I'm going to wait for the tide to go out. And this is what a lot of this kind of thing, this sort of photography is all about. It's just waiting for all the right conditions, sometimes for years. But there's another bonus shot here actually. We've got this lovely boat just moored there, parked up on the beach. And it's looking pretty good. Quite liking that. As you can see, we've got quite a bit of high cloud in. I don't mind that at all. It gives the sky a bit more character. The Milky Way should be just over where that is now actually, but it's a little bit too bright for it. Quite pleased with the little boat. Nice character for a little shot, that one. Probably another half hour till the tide's gone out far enough for us to get that skeletonized wreck out there. It's a bit too deep for me to wade out with my wellies at the moment. The problem we've got now is the clouds keep going in front of the moon, so the light keeps changing, so the exposures keep changing. So once the tide is out far enough, it's going to be a little bit tricky. I'll probably have to wait for a clear bit for the moon just to shine through. So you've got to take all this kind of thing into account when you're doing this as well. So wait a bit longer. You'll see that I've swapped from the Leica to the Sony A7. The reason for that is I've got a cable release to do bulb mode for the Sony, and I'm quite keen to get an expression of time passing with this shot, with the old wrecked boat gradually decaying away. So I want a really long exposure and some of the clouds coming past, so maybe a 2 or 3 minute exposure, something like that. So that's why we're on this camera this time around. I'd rather use the Leica as the resolution is so much better, but this guy is pretty good, so we'll use this. Tide is going out, but it's still perilously close to the top of my wellies. I'm not close enough to the boat yet. So got a little bit more waiting to do. As the tide's going out gradually, I'm gradually getting closer and closer to it. I want to be in quite close for quite a wide angle shot. Just patience. Patience is the key. We're right at the boat now. It's looking great. Can we see that? So we're just composing, getting the focus right manually, and all those other good things we've got to do. ISO 2000, f5.6, 25 seconds at the moment. My very long 2-minute exposure was rubbish, so we're not going to bother with that. So let's get a few of these in and see what they're looking like. I think we're done now. We've tried a few different compositions. To be honest, I'm not very impressed with any of them. There's just too much floating weed on the water. I was hoping for a nice, smooth, featureless water, but it's covered in weed, making it really difficult. We've moved around, we're trying a slightly different composition. The boat's there. Oh, it was there. Boat's there, but it's the moon behind, but it really isn't what I want because you can barely see the boat. But we'll get it back and see what comes out of it. That's the tricky thing about doing this the wrong way around. You've already seen the picture. I don't know what it's going to look like. Hopefully there's going to be something good here. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.